Welcome to a culinary adventure this time. I'm gonna be setting out today 400 liters of mead. Mead making is a bit longer process. It will take around 1 year before these batches are ready to be drunk, but the longer they wait, the better they get. Alright, let's get to it. We don't need this. All right, let's try powering it on. Everything should, maybe turning on the power supply is important. Nothing blew up, that's good. So now let's see whether the motors will start spinning. "10 years of aerospace engineering did not go to waste." And let's leave it to soak a little bit. Beautiful. This honey smells amazing. starter cultures seem to be very happy on the stir plate, so it's time to prepare the tanks. I cannot put the tap in. Thread inside the tank has been grinded too much or it's overwelded. So what's happening is the weld on the smaller tank is too large, therefore I cannot put the tap in, which is quite inconvenient because the yeast are, well, ready. Even if I could take the tank, I would need to find a workshop which can tap stainless steel. It's already afternoon, it's Friday. So I'm afraid that the yeast which I have will go to waste, at least for that specific batch. But I'll continue with the other 2 tanks because there's nothing else I can do about it. And let's see what the support from Polsinelli says. It's never easy, you know, like there's always something. Like I wish once I could run a project which would just go without hiccups instead of finding out just before setting up a batch that, well, the tap is too small. I mean, out of all the things, too small tap, really? Let's see if this tap is actually sealed and works nicely. Yeah, seems to be working fine. That is enough cleaning. Let's do the fun part. Oh, this is not working anymore? Why is this not working anymore? Of course, making meads is not my full-time profession, unfortunately. Or should I rather say not yet? For a moment there, math was not mathing, but now it all adds up, so that's good. For a second I thought I lost somewhere 20 kilograms of honey, but the numbers on the buckets are not kilograms, but there are percentages of water inside the honey, not the kilograms inside the bucket. So now it makes sense because I have 5 buckets, every bucket 25 kilograms, and every bucket has water content in the honey from 19.5 to 20%, which is absolutely normal value. This is a good value that the honey should have. Right, all numbers are adding up, so it's time to start adding water to honey and putting everything in the fermentation tank. Right, first bunch of honey in. Now I need to repeat it until all the buckets are empty. Alright, time to do the second mead. I really hope that this honey in the bucket at least is completely liquid, and if it's also crystallized, then it's gonna be a lot of work and a few more hours. So, fingers crossed. Yes. You beauty. Time to add the yeast into the tank. Alright, so I know what to do with the last batch of mead. Instead of waiting for replacement tank, I'm gonna set up the spiced mead in a 300-liter tank that I have, and once I receive the 100-liter tank, I'm gonna transfer everything to the 100-liter tank, because the 300-liter tank is the only tank I have empty currently, and I needed to rack the meads off the sediment. So let's do that. This is the only thing which really makes sense without wasting any material, but it's getting late and I'm getting tired. So let's get to it. Ready. Alright, all the meads are set up. Bit tired. Still cleanup left to do. But yes, quick cleaning and ready to go home. Alright, everything is cleaned. Took quite some time, but everything is done. So the next check-in is tomorrow to see how the meads are going. See you tomorrow. It has been 48 hours. I couldn't come yesterday. Let's see if the fermentation begun. Yes, it did. Now let's check the second tank. Also ferments nicely. And the last tank. Also very good. Since all three meads are fermenting, now it's time to take some measurements, see how much honey the yeast already had eaten, and see how much is remaining, and that will help me make the graphs to estimate how strong and sweet this mead will be. Now what I have to do is to add nutrients, the vitamins, microelements. This will help the yeast to grow stronger and to ferment better. Alright, the fermentation had successfully begun in all three tanks, which makes me very happy. So now the most dangerous stage is over, because there is always a small risk that, because the honey is unprocessed, it's raw straight from the beehives, and that could start a wild fermentation, giving a product which I don't want. But now seeing that all three tanks have started fermenting correctly, the pressure is off, and now it's just making sure the yeast are happy and they keep doing their job. So next time I'm gonna check in a few days take the sugar measurement again and see how they're doing. All right, it has been 3 weeks. The meads are fermenting very nicely. In 3 to 4 months, I'm gonna taking them off the sediment, and then I'm gonna make another update on how they're doing. Until then, see you in the next adventure. Cheers!